Welcome everyone to this edition of the Vastari Connects webinars. We're having another spotlight today on one of the exhibitions that is available on the Vastari portal and learning a little bit more about its producer, the amazing artist collective Random International. The exhibition we'll be looking at is called Rain Room, and it's actually a show that was first shown 10 years ago. So it's quite exciting to be looking at its 10-year history and what's happening next. As you know, Vastari runs these webinars bi-weekly, and we're really delighted that this will be the last of our webinars this year. And for all of you who might not know, this is recorded and shown on the Vastari portal, so anyone will be able to see it for free afterwards. So without further ado, I think probably the first step is for each of our speakers to just quickly introduce themselves and how they're related to Random International. And then we'll have a presentation about Rain Room, followed by a bit of a discussion where I'll be asking questions. And please do put your questions in the chat so that we can find out more about what you would like to know about the exhibition and Random International's other shows potentially. And we will be finishing before the hour is up. So, all right, who would like to start with the introductions? Maybe Hannes?
Nah, Eloise, ladies first.
Hi, I'm Eloise Reynolds. I am dramaturg at Random International. I've worked with Hannes and Flo for over a decade now. I'm an art historian and a writer, so my work is more on the context of the work, how to communicate that, some of the interpretive materials, and that's how the three of us work together.
Hello, I'm Flo. I'm one of the founders of Random International.
I'm Hannes, and I'm the other founder of Random International, and very pleased to be here today.
Thank you for being here. And yeah, I guess let's start with the presentation about Rain Room.
Yes. Can you all see this? I'm going to switch off my video for the duration of the presentation. So, Rain Room. In a nutshell, what is Rain Room? It's this is a sort of inside shot of a mid-construction rain room at the Museum of Modern Art in New York in 2013. It took 5 years from the first idea of what Rain Room should be or could be in autumn 2008 to get it to the Barbican Center in 2012 and then to the MoMA in 2013. What took the longest was to stick to the initial simplicity, and this is very, I think this is an internal document. This sketch here, that's the very procedural. This is how we sketch internally. This was not sort of showing to any collectors or museums or anybody. This was just us going like, oh, this would be cool. Can we do this? Like how would we do this? This was the first time we entered this space from discussing a rain room to actually sketching it and visualizing that, and to understand how it might feel, what it should do, how it could behave as a work. And this was most recently published as I think in May this year. This was our first non-fungible token. A published work was the first ever visualization of Rain Room, and we thought was suitable as we're digitally native. I think we're not crypto digitally native artists, but this was a very appropriate way for us to celebrate that new form of publishing work. So this animation is now living forever on the blockchain. It came from our archives into this. So this is Rain Room as a visualization, as a field of perpetually falling water that knows where you are. It senses your presence, or that of several human bodies, and cocoons you. It stops to rain wherever you are, and that cocoon is following you, that is enveloping you and following you around. And our, I think, initial interest, and that remains, I think, true to today, is how does it feel to be seen by a space, and how can we experience that? How can we make that experienceable? And this is how we did it 4 years later, with the incredible support of a whole incredible group of people, from everybody working at our studio at that time to the Frankel Foundation, who are art collectors based in Michigan, who gave us their unwavering support to realize this first sample, to the Barbican. Jane Ellison was curator, she's now the director, the Barbican Center, who said, yeah, we think it's not possible what you want to do, but you can have the curve space to show it if you think you can do it. And that gave us the confidence and the pressure to realize this work. And I think it was a very trust-based process for those couple of years, 2011, 2012. And this is what it does. I think we have a short animation. I think Flo and Eloise, you should unmute and chip in, so you don't have to.
Yeah, no,
it's more fluent, maybe.
You don't get this too often, that someone in the same meeting says, "I don't think this is possible. Let's do it." So it's this was pretty unique, like that commitment to showing this. It was not existing at that time. It had never been shown before, and what we had was a prototype of 2 by 5 meters, where you actually got really wet, and it was also, like, now thinking about this, it was in the because it was in the curve space. There's another room with a lot of broadcasting equipment right underneath, and it was in terms of how we look at spaces now, and careful deciding, oh, it can't be here, it can't be there. That was pretty that was pretty mad, like the trust, but then also technology wise, or like how to I don't know, there was a lot of things that just perfectly came together in this, and that enabled us to show it in the first place.
So this was in October 2012, and stayed up for about 5 months, I think, and was until opening day. We were wondering what we need to do together with Jane Ellison, with the curators, what we need to do to get people into the curve space, because you might miss the Rain Room. And the response that I think has become I think associated with Rain Room and works like that, the kind of cueing, the visual strength, the visual identity, and so on. That was all not really on. That wasn't planned, or we were very surprised by this. This was 3 days. I think after a week we had 3-hour queues consistently in the museum, and we were completely overwhelmed. We had to set up our studio our temporary studio next to the exit of the Rain Room, to be there if something happens. It was a first time trial.